Hello, welcome back to Vectorization LiveNoding. In this episode, I'm going to kind of break down this chain tool that we have worked on for the last few live nodings. So this one is actually already vectorized, meaning that the grease pencil, whenever you draw anything with multiple strokes, it will automatically convert it into this chain kind of setup. And I also make it so that no matter how long the stroke is, the chain will adapt to it. So this is actually not too bad. Still can be improved. And yeah, this is like one way you can really design something from scratch using Sverchok Add-On and grease pencil. I found it. The grease pencil workflow is actually very powerful. Once you get a grasp of it, um, you can design something like this. And this is really taking advantage of a lot of nodes. You probably will take it for granted, we know that grease pencil, Blender grease pencil now can be easily sourced into Sverchok, and then we can quickly resample it. We don't need to convert it to curve like the usual workflow in Blender. Using nodes, everything's becoming more streamlined. It's not always not always so simple, but once you understand each process and then try to do it using nodes, it's actually becoming super simple. Okay, enough talking. Actually, you know that in the previous live noding, I already show you how to create this chain, but only works for a single stroke. If you have multiple strokes of grease pencil, you need to vectorize it. And this actually works because of the monad group. This is, you can see the nodes setup is very simple. But inside the monad, you will see this is actually what we have in the previous live noding. It's still not super complex really. The whole process I can simply recite it again. What's different inside the monad is that I'm using list item. This will take care each and every strokes. If we have like multiple strokes and then we want to bring that into Sverchok and we want to process it using the same way, like for a single chain, we call it Factorization. List item inside a monad can do some magic. So the rest of them is actually simple process, like finding the length of the grease pencil strokes, and then I multiply it. This is actually give a little bit more control on how dense the chain is gonna be. And then I have range float. This is a resampling, the resampling of the grease pencil. And then we find out about the tangency and then the point position for each of the chain element. And then it goes into this matrix in and all the way into this guy, which is basically a torus and then matrix apply, which is kind of instancing the chain element and then rotate it based on the tangency. On top of that, I also kind of rotate it. Because it is like a chain, I have this switch to rotate it either 0 or 90 degree. So this chain is pretty basic, I think pretty vanilla, but seems to work really well. And then outside of the monad, you can further set this up so it works nicely for every stroke. In this case, I have another vector interpolations, and this is where the grease pencil data comes in. So here you can see object ID selector grease pencil, and you can see number 6 because we have 6 strokes for this sushi. I can try write something again. SEND. Zen. Yeah, I think let's try snail. So I think this is a good size for the stroke. And as I wrote something, it's gonna update itself. So that's kind of nice. Can this be animated? Yes, pretty sure you can animate it. Say like if you draw like a stick figure, I don't know, maybe something a little bit better, you can animate this, of course. But if you were to do like a animation, of course, you want some kind of consistency. If you actually draw the grease pencil animations and then you want to convert the grease pencil strokes into chain like this, it might not be very consistent. So for animations, very likely you're gonna use bones and maybe curve, IK spline and things like that. So a slightly different setup. This is actually more like nice for kind of a typography kind of thing. I guess I want to make like a bunch of tools like this. Basically, this is one of such example. Chain is like a classic example, really. There is a lot you can add on top of it, but the idea will remain the same. Let's say you make like a procedural kind of flower design or something, or maybe trees, things like usually in a production they call it like tools for layout artists, tools that allow you to generate maybe like a bunch of stones or kind of to decorate like a 3D environment. So I think that's something I'm really interested on. So okay, I think that's pretty much it for this talk. If you have any feedback, suggestion to improve this, let me know. If you have any question as well, just say something in the comments section below. Yeah, thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.